Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are in a division with Rafcaf and Jwith. You guys know Jwith from yesterday's video. Well, this was actually a game that we had prior to Raf leaving. Raf was playing with us for a few matches and then he took off for the night. But anyway, this time we're going to be in the Massachusetts, and once again we're on Atlantic because there's something weird about this game that always means that whatever day you decide to play or whatever time you decide to play, you're going to get suckered into like 3 maps that you play pretty much back to back all night, and then occasionally you'll get an extra map thrown in for good measure. But what we ended up with in this match was just something that you just dream about in a brawler battleship, and that is a bunch of dummies coming at you one at a time. And it is pretty funny to watch. I'm not gonna lie. It's hilarious. So we're gonna go off to the left side. Again, we've got Raf with us, we've got Jay with. I'm in the Massachusetts, Raf is in the Brandenburg, and obviously we got Jay with in the cruiser. But we're going to push off to the left and try to get ourselves into a position where we can grab the Charlie cap and then wrap around and take care of anything in the middle or whatever. So that's the plan. You guys know me. I like to secure flanks. We already saw yesterday what happens when I go into the middle. It doesn't end well for me, even though we had a solid game. We probably should have won that game if we had more contributions from the rest of the team. But going to the middle for me doesn't usually end in a win. Securing flanks ends in wins. So we spawned on the left, we're going to take the left, we're going to hold the left or win the left, and then we're going to wrap in to help the rest of the team. You can't always win your flank, but if you can hold it as long as you can, that's preferable. But yeah, first things first, we got a mine spotted. Now you'll notice that it takes a lot longer to get spotted on this map now than it used to. Even with 3 destroyers, we didn't get spotted until just now. But first things first, York gets spotted behind the island. New Orleans is just begging for it. I mean, this guy, he doesn't have any awareness of what's going on, and he's getting shot by me, Raf, and Jwith, and he's already lost 2/3 of his health. He's lucky he didn't just get deleted right there. Like, let's be real. I've seen New Orleans get removed for a lot less than that. But yeah, he's not long for this world. It's just a matter of time before we get loaded again, and with everybody shooting him, he's done. He starts to slow down, turn in a little bit. We're going to adjust for that. I am not going to go pushing in through here because I'm anticipating destroyers, and I think that would be a bad play for me. Now, Jwith in the Baltimore manages to get the kill. Beautiful. We do have a North Carolina backing these guys up, and the mines is right there as well. Now, sure, it would have been better had I gone towards the middle, but I'd already made my, oh, hello, Summers. We'll go ahead and throw that out there, see if we can't catch him with 1 or 2. But I'd already made my turn to come around the backside of this island based on the fact that I was spotted early before anything else was spotted, so I just assumed that the destroyers were there. And as you can see, with Summers there, the destroyers are here. And these are not gonna, he's not the only destroyer over here. We're actually going to fight all 3 of the destroyers on this side. So you can see one of them's in the cap right now. Plus we have the just wall of skill heading our direction. And remember, we're the only ones here. Like, these are sent at, well, I guess they could be sent at Jwith here in the Balti. But they're sent in our direction, and that's not good. But this North Carolina, this guy is going to get so freaking lucky. Like, if this is me in the North Carolina, first of all, Jwith goes down in the Baltimore early. That's not preferable. But this guy is going to get so freaking lucky. You can see I'm salivating. Raf punches him in the mouth with his Brandenburg. And I get the rear guns around to make sure that I can hit him with another shot. And I'm expecting him to die from a citadel. But look at that dispersion. And of course, they fall short and go long. Because that's how the game works when you are completely and utterly hopeless in a ship. It will protect you. No offense to the guy driving the ship, but he literally beached himself, was parked broadside to 2 battleships, one of them citadels with smaller guns, but my guns didn't do anything. I got a good hit initially and then missed with the rear guns because that's what the game expects out of them, right? And you could see we were aimed right at the center of the ship, We aimed up off the waterline a little bit, and yet all of those rounds decided they didn't want to go to the target. But it happens. We take a shot at the mines here, just looking for any sort of hit we can get, and of course, those shots go long. They all fall behind him. Now, maybe it's because I thought that he wasn't moving very fast. Maybe I didn't aim it properly. We'll give that one to me. But, I mean, this next shot looks like it's going to be juicy, but then he just starts turning here. You can see he's trying to dodge Raff. Raff's shot completely misses. The North Carolina comes back out. Again, look at his positioning. I'm not aiming directly at the waterline. I'm aiming at the number 2 turret, or the B turret, and we're aiming up a little bit, and we get 15K, but no Citadel. In what world is that not a Citadel on a North Carolina? Like, for God's sakes, what do you have to do to get a Citadel nowadays? Like, I know that I can Citadel that ship through the bow if he bow tanks me. How is that not a Citadel? Like, and then the Summers comes out and he's like, anything you can do, I can do better. And so he throws all of his torpedoes at me. I take half his hit points with my main guns. I start turning in. We're trying to dodge the torp. He's going to catch one of them. And then we already prioritized him for our secondaries. We've got the engine, or the secondary booster running, and we also have the ship built for secondaries. I mean, you're not going to survive. American secondaries are the most accurate secondaries in the game. They are devastating for destroyers. Devastating. Speaking of devastating, this guy just reverses back out in front of me. And we get 10K off of him. I wasn't expecting a Citadel there. We're shooting at the back of his ship. But still, like, imagine. Now, you can see here, I get a little cheeky. I'm like, I'm going to try to set a fire on this guy with my secondaries. I know he's already used his damage con. So if we can get a fire with our secondaries here, that would be preferable. And so I started healing. Now, remember, I've got the Justinian Lions on there. So for the entire duration of my heal, I have an extra 30% chance of setting fires, including on my secondaries. So we get the fire that we were looking for. He dies to the fire, and now we're going to push out, and we're going to absolutely dominate the rest of these guys. We're losing this fight right now. They're grabbing the Bravo cap. They've got 2 destroyers to R1, and it's just me and Raff left. All money is betting on the destroyers at this point, but not me. I am basically full health. I'm in a secondary brawler build, Massachusetts, and these destroyer players are literally hopeless. And I'll show you what I mean next. We've already showed you the Summers completely threw away his ship, and you saw how quickly we melted him with our secondaries. Well, don't worry. The rest of them are going to do stupid stuff too. Summers number 2 enters the fight and says, you know what? I've got this. I won't make the same mistake that the last guy made. That's where you're wrong, because once again, we take half your health with your gun, or with the main guns, and then we slow down, we start turning in. Watch these torpedoes. They're so freaking predictable, man. And look at our secondaries just chewing this man up. We already got the fire. Ah, look, all the torpedoes. Imagine that. As our secondaries start firing from the other side of the ship. And look at the hits. Watch the hits. Here they come. Bonk, 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 bonk. And there's... Oh, Raff steals that one with the Brandenburg secondaries. But then the Mines comes out and he's like, no, anything he can do and the other guy can do, I can do better because I'm a cruiser. And I have torpedoes too. Imagine that. Well, I was waiting for him to turn here because I knew I could Citadel him. Or at least I thought I could Citadel him. And then the third destroyer is like, hey, these guys have been coming at you one at a time. I'm going to do the same thing. Only I don't have the hit points. So he pulls out in front of my American secondaries. I don't even have the booster active. And my secondaries are just ripping them apart. Just gone. Remember, these are 5-inch 38 secondaries, okay? What does that mean, Spartan? Well, they're 5-inch guns, 127mm guns. There are 38 caliber barrels. So they're 38 times the width of the shell. Okay? So 38 caliber guns. And they're accurate as crap. They don't have the range. Well, actually, Massachusetts has pretty good range. So there's that. But these things are accurate. They don't lob like the Germans do. Like, this thing won't shoot over islands with secondaries. Okay? You won't see that very often. Unless you're really good range. Hi, Mines! You thought you could get away with it again, huh? You were wrong. Down he goes, baby. And that brings us over the 100K. That gives us our 4th kill. And we're on the hunt for the Kraken. Can we get the Kraken? That is the question. But obviously expecting torpedoes to come through here, we're not going to keep reversing. We're going to go forward around the island, and we're going to try to engage this Kansas. Now, I thought that this Kansas was going to do the smart thing, which was disengage, you know, and not go towards the destroyer. The destroyer's here. The destroyer's going to be in the cap. He's going to know that the destroyer's in the cap because the cap's going to start getting captured. It's funny how that works, right? See how the cap is being captured? The 2 battleships weren't anywhere near the cap at the time. So guess what? The destroyer's in the cap. He knows this. Now we're aiming for guns and superstructure here. He's going to drive into those shells. And then we are going to try to cut him off. We're going for this gap here. And then we're going to watch him what he does. And we're going to try to cut him off out here. Now, the thought process behind this was, I'm hunting the Kraken. Like, I want to get a good shot at this guy. If he gives me a broadside, he's dead. There's no chance. He's in a Kansas. Kansas gets Citadel like nobody's business when it's broadside. Like, it's not even close. I mean, most American battleships do. If you give a broadside an American battleship, you get Citadel more often than not. Unless, of course, you're the North Carolina who beats broadside in front of both of us. But, you know, we won't talk about that. But you can see his thought process here. He's starting to turn away from the cap, and I'm like, okay, here we go. Now we're talking. But, of course, I get spotted. He doesn't finish his turn. He's not quite angled enough for me to get through and Citadel him, though I thought that if I can hit the shells just in front of those turrets into that bow side plating, there's a chance. And we actually do get a decent hit out of it, but only 1 shell gets a penetration. The other 3 get overpins, so we didn't get much damage out of it. Our secondaries, you can see, racking up the hits. Again, even at 7-8 kilometers, these things are hitting. As long as they got a straight line of sight, these shells on these secondaries will hit the target. But we're up to 116,000, again, hunting that Kraken. But this guy doubles back into the center, and I decide to push out here because he's wrapping out. Well, this guy realizes that I'm coming out here and decides instead he wants to go after the destroyer and the other battleship rather than fight me and give me a Kraken. That's his only option. That's the only thing that went through his mind here is, I don't want to give Spartan a Kraken. Obviously, I don't know if that's true or not. That's just me being facetious. But that's the way I felt at the time. I was like, this guy literally would rather take torpedoes and fight a Brandenburg than to give me a Kraken right now. And he does. He takes a torpedo. That's a flood, and he's going to die before I get around the corner. Now, it's at around this time that Raft decides to shoot the guy and take the kill because we deserve the kill more than the destroyer did. Because, I mean, let's face it, we did more during the battle. But we had a pretty solid game. Let me know what you guys think. 116,000 damage, not the most damage, but double close quarters and a dev strike. So you gotta love that. 2,400 base. Kagero coming up top, making me wrong when we say we deserved it more. 2,493 for him. And Raph coming in 3rd and Jay With coming in 4th. So let us know what you guys think. And as always, if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button. Leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, I will see you in the next video.